Did you know that a rhinoceros can actually talk to its friends using sounds that are so low the human ear can't even hear them? Did you know that these massive tanks of the animal kingdom are actually more closely related to a common horse than they are to an elephant? Did you know that a rhino's horn isn't made of bone, but is actually made of the same material as your own hair and fingernails? Did you know that some rhinos have been observed gardening their environment to ensure their favorite snacks grow more abundantly? Did you know that despite their weight, a rhino can outrun a professional Olympic sprinter without breaking a sweat? Rhinos don't have very many sweat glands, which is why they are so reliant on external cooling methods. If they can't find water or shade, they can quickly suffer from heat stroke. A rhino's brain is relatively small compared to its body size, but they are far from unintelligent. They have excellent spatial memory and can remember the locations of water holes across vast territories. The Javan rhino is the only species where the females often lack a horn entirely. This makes them look quite different from the males and from other rhino species. Rhinos are surprisingly gentle when they aren't threatened. There are many documented cases of rhinos living peacefully alongside other herbivores like zebras and wildebeests at watering holes. The horn of a rhino is held in place by a powerful set of neck muscles. This allows them to use the horn as a lever to lift heavy branches or even to dig for water during droughts. Black rhinos have a tendency to be more nocturnal than white rhinos, often doing the majority of their traveling and feeding under the cover of darkness to avoid the sun. The name black rhino was likely given to distinguish it from the white rhino, as both animals are actually a similar shade of gray. The color of their skin often depends on the color of the mud they last wallowed in. Rhinos have a pre-hindgut fermentation system, which is different from cows. This means they can process low-quality food more efficiently, allowing them to survive in harsh, dry environments. White rhinos have a very wide, flat mouth, which acts like a lawnmower, allowing them to crop large patches of grass very close to the ground. This creates grazing lawns that other animals prefer. Because rhinos are so heavy, they can leave deep ruts in the ground that turn into small streams or paths during the rainy season. This helps manage the flow of water across the landscape. Rhinos are incredibly territorial, and dominant males will mark their boundaries by spraying urine. This urine contains complex chemical signals that tell other males to stay away. A rhino's charge is often a bluff charge, meant to scare away an intruder without actually making contact. However, if the intruder doesn't move, the rhino will follow through with its full weight. Sumatran rhinos are the only species that spend a significant amount of time wrestling or playing in the water. They are surprisingly playful animals when they feel safe in their environment. The armor on an Indian rhino isn't just for show. It is reinforced with layers of collagen that make it very difficult for a predator's teeth to penetrate. It is one of the toughest hides in the animal kingdom. Rhinos have a pulse rate of about 30 to 40 beats per minute when they are resting. This jumps significantly when they are running or engaged in a fight with a rival male. Male rhinos are called bulls, and females are called cows. During the mating season, bulls will often engage in intense battles of strength to win the right to mate with a female. The tail of a rhino is relatively short and ends in a tuft of stiff hair. They use it like a fly swatter to keep insects away from their sensitive rear ends. Rhinos have a very thick layer of subcutaneous fat that helps them store energy. This allows them to survive for several days without food if they are moving between grazing areas. The Indian rhino has a very different fighting style than African rhinos. Instead of using their horn to gore rivals, they use their sharp lower incisor teeth to bite and slash at opponents. White rhinos are the only species that are not known to be particularly territorial. Several males may share the same range, provided they acknowledge the dominance of the primary bull. A rhino's horn is not attached to the skull. It sits on a nasal boss, which is a roughened area of bone on the snout. This is why the horn can be lost without killing the animal. Black rhinos are considered keystone species because their feeding habits prevent forests from becoming too overgrown. This maintains the open savanna that many other African animals need to survive. Rhinos have a very slow metabolism for their size, which helps them conserve energy in hot climates. This is one reason they spend so much of the day resting. The lip of a black rhino is so strong that it can snap thick branches like a pair of garden shears. They are particularly fond of acacia trees, even though the trees have long, sharp thorns. Sumatran rhinos are the most vocal of all rhino species, frequently communicating with whinnies and chirps. These sounds are essential for staying in contact in the thick jungle where visibility is zero. Rhinos are capable of recognizing individual humans who they interact with regularly. In sanctuaries, they have been known to show affection to their caretakers by leaning against them or making soft sounds. The horn of a rhino is actually curved backward, which helps the animal move through thick brush without getting stuck. The curve also provides a better angle for defense. Rhinos are very susceptible to certain diseases carried by domestic cattle, which is why protecting their natural habitat from encroachment is so important. A single outbreak can devastate a small population. The horn of the Indian rhino is usually much smaller than the African species, often only reaching 8 to 25 inches in length. Despite its size, it is a very effective tool for digging. Rhinos have a tapetum lucidum in their eyes, which is a reflective layer that helps them see better in low light. This is why their eyes appear to glow when hit by a flashlight at night. Young rhinos are very curious and will often investigate new objects in their environment. However, they stay very close to their mother's side, often walking directly behind her or right under her belly. The Javan rhino is so rare that most of what we know about its behavior comes from remote camera traps. They are solitary and prefer to live in areas with lots of water and fallen trees. Rhinos are surprisingly good at navigating steep terrain. Both the Indian and Sumatran species are known to climb hills and mountains in search of specific plants or to avoid floods. A rhino's tongue is very rough, similar to a cat's, but much larger. This helps them grip and pull plants into their mouths. White rhinos have a hump on their neck that consists of powerful muscles. These muscles are what allow the rhino to hold up its massive head and horn while running or fighting. Rhinos are very sensitive to vibrations in the ground. They can often sense a large vehicle or a group of animals approaching long before they can hear or see them. The dust that rhinos kick up while they walk actually helps them. They will often intentionally walk through dry areas to coat their skin in dust, which provides an extra layer of protection against the sun. Black rhinos have been known to travel up to 30 miles in a single day to find water during the dry season. They are much more mobile than people expect based on their size. The Indian rhino's skin folds contain buttons of hard skin that act as extra reinforcement. These are most prominent on the shoulders and hindquarters. Rhinos are very loyal to their home ranges. Even if the environment changes, they will often try to stay in the same area for their entire lives, unless they are forced out by lack of food or water. The Sumatran rhino is the only species that has a primitive look with two distinct horns that look like small spikes. Their ears are also quite hairy compared to other species. Rhinos have a very large cecum, which is a part of the digestive tract where bacteria break down plant fiber. This is similar to how a horse digests food. The crash of rhinos is one of the most interesting collective nouns in the animal kingdom. It perfectly captures the sound and feeling of a group of these giants moving through the brush. Rhinos are often depicted as grumpy, but they are actually quite playful with each other. Calves can often be seen sparring with their mothers in a gentle game of tag. The horn of the rhino is slightly elastic due to its keratin structure. This prevents it from shattering when it hits a hard object, like a rock or the horn of another rhino. Rhinos have a very thick layer of honeycomb bone in their snout, which helps absorb the shock of a charge. This protects their brain from the massive impact forces. White rhinos are the only species that have a flat forehead, whereas black rhinos have a more concave or dipped forehead. This is an easy way for scientists to tell them apart from a distance. Rhinos are very good at conserving water and can go for up to 5 days without a drink if they have access to succulent plants. However, they prefer to drink every day if water is available. The Javan rhino is the most primitive-looking of the 3 Asian species. It lacks the long hair of the Sumatran and the extreme armor plating of the Indian rhino. Rhinos have been part of human culture for at least 30,000 years. We know this because they are frequently depicted in ancient cave paintings across Europe and Asia. The extinction of the woolly rhino at the end of the last ice age was likely due to a combination of climate change and human hunting. Today, we are working hard to ensure the remaining species don't suffer the same fate. Rhinos are extremely important for the economy of many African and Asian countries through ecotourism. Many people travel from all over the world just to catch a glimpse of these prehistoric giants in the wild. Conservation efforts have successfully brought the southern white rhino back from the brink of extinction. In the early 1900s, there were fewer than 100 left, but today there are over 15,000. Protecting rhinos means protecting entire ecosystems. Because they require large areas of land, the parks created for rhinos also provide a safe home for thousands of other species of birds, insects, and mammals. Every rhino is a living link to our planet's deep past, a silent witness to millions of years of evolution. By understanding and protecting them, we are preserving one of the most incredible success stories in the history of life on Earth. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the incredible world of the rhinoceros. These tanks with a heart are truly some of the most fascinating creatures on our planet. If you enjoyed these facts, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. We regularly upload deep dives into the mysteries of the animal kingdom and the wonders of wildlife. Which rhino fact surprised you the most? Was it their hidden singing voices, or the fact that they are related to horses? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you're hungry for more amazing animal secrets, click on the video on your screen right now to discover even more about the natural world. See you in the next one.